Hello, hello. What's good, nomads? Major Nomad here. Good afternoons, evenings, and mornings to you. I wanted to give my reaction because there's a little bit of heat going on with Katy Perry and, react to more American debacles and clown world stuff that we've been getting, especially, like I said, what's going on with Katy Perry. I have caught tidbits and reacted to a little bit of this on my own time before then. Shout out to Pop Culture Crisis. Brett and Mary Morgan reacted to this recently, and I wanted to give my take in 2 cents. And one thing I was going to say about that, too, I definitely agree with Brett's take on the concert, especially like the choreography, which you're about to see. Keep in mind, this is about to be cringe for those who see in that, who have saw it. And I wanted to give my 2 cents there because, apparently this was somewhat high budget, and if that's the case, she definitely got scammed. And yeah, this is like a whole mess. And also to react to a little bit, this was a little bit past than I could have reacted to it before, but I was just busy with among other things. But I'm gonna do two things in one and give my 2 cents and take on it. Remember, if you like it, if you like the content, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, comment. I would appreciate it. So let's get into this. And I'm going to be a little bit fair here and let's see how bad it really is. One thing I said in their take as well in Pop Culture Crisis, I did give one positive feed. Now, I do like her cosmetic choice. It definitely looks like something that would be really good. She does look good in it too. Even though with her age too, being older, she does take really good care of herself compared to some other celebrities who are kind of lazier and who don't. I gotta give credit there, and she does look good in this outfit. I like it. Definitely looks like a sci-fi type of rave style that would fit well with it, but you're gonna see how she kind of was cheap. Like I said, if this was high budget, she definitely got ripped off. Could add more better decor in that to go for the more space age sci-fi style she was going for, because apparently I guess she's considered an astronaut, and I'm gonna react to that as well. But let's be fair, that's one good positive thing I could give her with this. Here's her dancing skills that apparently are not so great. Back to the really bad dancing. Oh, okay, she did that to kind of distract from that, maybe. Okay. Now I'm not like a big dance expert, nor did I really dance, but that was some really cheap dancing skills. That's like people who are beginning to dance. Like, I think middle schoolers could have probably done a better job than that when you want to learn to dance and you want to learn younger. I mean, that was like some basic choreography. Yeah, look, who choreographed this? Whoever choreographed this, she should have hired better people too. Let's keep it a stack. What's she doing here, running around the stage? I know musicians and that do that, but for such high budget, and what she's giving here is like pretty cheap. That was wild. Like I said, you could have done way better than that. Like, that was Okay, she added on to this. Let's see if it gets slightly better. That big drop she did where she fell down and did the little leg showboating to kind of make up for the dancing, but it didn't do that good enough to make up for it. It didn't smack her back into reality. You're like, oh, it's giving rehearsal energy. I so agree with this comment. Yo, I like people that go to the concerts and record this for our amusement, so we got to see tidbits of what we missed out. And why it was a good idea we didn't pay to go to this concert, but they paid. Hopefully they made their money's worth posting this on social media, and shout out to them giving us a taste of this. But I'm not really a big fan of her. I don't really have none against her and whatnot, even though she has certain political takes I don't agree with her or whatever, but I typically don't have none against her. But the recent stuff that's been going on with her now, she could take that a little bit better on the chin. I'm surprised South Park hasn't made a little skit to this. I know they're really busy. I haven't caught the episode yet, but they made fun of Snow White and what's the horror deal with Disney and the goofy Snow White remake, which I could have got into too, but I just... That's besides the point. Let's continue, see if this gets any better. If she's doing a sci-fi, space, and cyberpunk or Star Wars thing, these choreographed dancers and their costumes could have been a little bit better. Like I said, I like the effort with her costume right there, especially with the jacket on. It definitely fits the style, and she does look good in it, but that's not enough to make people really enjoy the tour. My 2 cents. And the concert. So far, this is really cheap and badly choreographed. I'm trying to give somewhat positive takes here, but I can't find anything too positive to say about this. Such wasted opportunity, yo. I tried, chat. I tried to be fair. I tried to be positive, but like I said, other than her cosmetic in that, she really didn't hit the ball and wasted opportunity on this mark. Oh my goodness. Could have done better. As someone who does, even though I've been to a little bit, like I went to the Billie Eilish concert in Lollapalooza, and I've been to some music festivals and whatnot I haven't been to in a while. I should get back more into this, because those are definitely worth better, because unlike her concert right there, music festivals actually put some more heart and thought and good budget into it, which is at least pretty decent DJs, the style, the decor, and whatnot. Way better than this high budget concert that people had to pay a good amount of money to go to. Let's keep it a stack for those who go to raves or music festivals and whatnot. Yeah, that was... no. I liked Brett's take on it when he made fun of it from Pop Culture Crisis. That was funny. Now, if they were going to do some stuff like these are like ultimate fanboy geek Star Wars stuff. I'm going to be honest, I kind of got off of that in middle school. I kind of got tired off of Star Wars, and ever since Disney took it over, it definitely made it pretty lame. But I do like cyberpunk and sci-fi style stuff. Just Star Wars, in my opinion, got pretty lame. But here's actually real choreograph versus, look, better choreograph than anything Disney has done. I bet you she hired people from Disney or so to give it. Like, she could have got way better choreograph than this. Look, wasted opportunity. This looks way better than the dancers and choreographers she worked with at her concert that she had to pay good money to. She could have hired fanboys for this for cheaper. See that? Oh, way freaking better. Let's see some more. Yeah, that's the song you just – lay off the music. Now, if she actually got somebody with real talent that worked on that kind of stuff, that was a wasted opportunity. Look, people could have probably enjoyed her concert if they had some of that involved, that she was going to use like a lightsaber Star Wars type of feel to it. Now, that, I'll be honest, that looks kind of lit. Let's keep it a stack. Doesn't that look freaking lit, chat? Let me know in the comments if you would actually gave some more credit and positivity for her concert if she added that in the mix. Alright. And her dancing skills, like I said, leaves much to be desired. I'm sure some people could have actually appreciated it better if she didn't have to do anything fancy, because I know she's older, probably losing energy, and I heard supposedly she has some back issues and whatnot, even though she fell onto the floor and was able to get up from it no problem and whatnot. So I don't know about all that stuff, but if she could have done that, she couldn't do some maybe basic go-go dancing in the mix. Nothing too fancy, but intermediate stuff. Like, let me give you an example. Like, this person looks like she looks real good doing it, and she could have added some stuff like that, especially made the hair pop a little more, like the hairstyle she was rocking. Make it more like a princess warrior type of thing. I mean, look at her. This chick's go-go dancing was better than Katy Perry's goofy dancing, like she was on the string stuff, what the choreographers were when they get up and moved on to those string things. I forget what they call it, but she definitely was dancing like somebody had ties around her, like she was dancing like someone's puppet or whatever. You know, not to be a jerk, but come on. This is actually, if she did some stuff like this, it could have been more acceptable. Let's keep it a stack. And now to the elephant in the room. I know I'm a bit late on this, but I wanted to react to this fake space scandal thing. I'm gonna have Tim Pool break this down way better, because he did a really good job with that. Basically took the words right out of my mouth. Definitely shout out to Timcast. I really like his content, even though I have some little disagreements, but I really enjoy his content and breakdowns. Let's go take a look.
Was the Blue Origin all-female flight faked? Yo, apparently what they're saying is that the people in the crew in the capsule, which is like, I guess they're saying it was pre-planted and choreographed, opened the door from the inside, where these capsules are not supposed to be able to be opened from the inside, only the outside. And in fact, in the video, Jeff Bezos actually opens it from the outside. What they're arguing is, oopsie, the ladies inside didn't know they weren't supposed to open the door because it's not supposed to be able to be opened, but it was fake. Here's the story. Check this out.
Yeah, I overheard that too. People who actually done real space things, and pro astronauts and whatnot doing the training and so forth. You're supposed to only be able to open a spacecraft door and whatnot on the outside, not the inside, for safety reasons and whatnot, which is somewhat understandable, but I have a little bit of critiques on that being with the safety of the person on the inside. But what do I know? I'm not a big space expert or know a lot about space stuff or dig into it. I'm gonna keep it a stack, but let's continue on this.
Origin blunder. Conspiracy theorists seize on Blue Origin door gaffe and claim it's definitive proof that Katy Perry's mission was fake. This is going to get all the flat earthers all riled up and say, see, you can't break through the firmament.
Flat earthers.
What I will say is, they call it an all-female flight. The women did literally nothing. They collected no data. Nothing was accomplished. But when they came down, these celebrities were like, what an amazing moment. And it's just like, but you didn't do anything. What is this? I mean, even if the rocket did go to space, it's all fake as it is. Check this out. They say a bizarre gaffe has ignited online conspiracy theories about Katy Perry's flight to space with Blue Origin. After the New Shepard capsule landed, Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos proudly wrenched open the hatch with a specialized tool. However, footage from just minutes earlier clearly shows the capsule door being opened from the inside before being hastily shut. Internet-dwelling conspiracy theorists have seized on this strange moment, hailing it as definitive proof the mission was faked. While there is little doubt that the Blue Origin rocket reached space, It shows just how tightly choreographed the staged event was supposed to be. On X, one commenter wrote, "I'd say this is the nail in the coffin fake." Take a look at this image. So the argument is the rocket goes up into space. The capsule then floats through space before dropping down to the Earth.
Right.
As it parachutes down and lands on land with parachute, you can't open the door as a safety precaution. Only the recovery crew can.
Yeah, I know that for a fact too. You're not supposed to.
Before they actually opened the door, door's already open. Door's already open.
That was a big oopsie, and she's like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that."
They can open the door from the inside, but they were supposed to let Bezos do it. That's why they closed it again, so that he could do it. And look,
I'm curious to see more what Bezos has with this and what he's got to do with this and the whole ordeal with the celebrity Katy Perry fiasco with this, but oh my goodness.
Looking well
Jeff
for him.
Bezos doing the most randomest things.
They say on X, many commentators who already had their doubts about the launch.
Former news anchor and Jeff Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez. Wait, wasn't that the same girl that got rizzed up by Leonardo DiCaprio, and pretty much Leonardo made him look like such a wimp in front of his woman? Is this the same chick, or was that one of his exes? Because if so, Big Al, my guy. I saw that, and I was going to think about react to it, but after some of these, I'm like, why bother? I don't really care about Jeff Bezos or whatnot, but it goes to show you what the RP community talks about. Having all this money in that, but still being a little bit of a wimp and dork doesn't help you. I remember after that, he went and did push-ups to still try to prove a point away from... That is the most cringiest thing, after having your girl made you look stupid and Leonardo made you look wimpy and stupid. Doing push-ups after the fact, it would have been more respectful. He didn't have to be like Will Smith about it, but he could have been like, hey, you know, hey, careful, that's my girl, bro. Watch how you talk and all that stuff. She could have had respect for him if that's the same chick. If not, a dude that can't back up on his territory and, you know, not back someone up and say, yo, this is my girl, watch it, bro, watch it. You can see he doesn't have the respect there. You ain't got to get in an all fist fight about it, but, you know, hopefully you wouldn't come to that, but if it does, I guess do what you got to do, but protect what's yours. Otherwise, anyone will just walk up and test you like it's high school. But besides the point.
Have seized on this embarrassing door gaffe as a clear sign their theories are correct. One commenter wrote, "It was fake. The girls opened the door to begin with from the inside with no tools. They then waited a few minutes, and Jeff Bezos stepped up with some sort of tool and acted like he unlocked the latch." I wonder if they were getting really hot in there, and they were like, you got to open the door, and it was being filmed. I don't know.
That's a good point. I could imagine, especially it going down, overheating and getting real hot in there. I could see that being really discomfort, but not being able to open it on the inside, which is apparently safety hazard and whatnot, because it'd be like an airplane door with the wind and what so forth of the atmosphere forcing it open like that, even though they touch ground. But I'm just saying the main cause is why, the main case of that being the case, not being able to open it on the inside. But I digress.
Another commenter chimed in and says, "Can't post this fake-ish enough. Door opens from the inside. They're told to close it because the door can only be opened by an outside person." One commenter claimed, "This ish is so fake. Watch the door be opened from the inside. Then they need a tool to open it from the outside." The main reason theorists latched onto this detail was the belief that the pressurized cabin shouldn't have an inward opening door that could be operated by passengers. Typical spacecraft have doors that open outwards and require a team of technicians working from the outside to unlock. For example, anybody who watched...
Turn thinking about your bathroom.
Oh, my days. As soon as it gets good, have to deal with that. Alright, back to it then.
Astronauts Bush Wilmore and Suni Williams would have seen a crew of engineers working for minutes to open the hatch of their SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule. I wonder what Elon thinks about this. And the other thing,
that's
of
a
course,
good question.
Is that,
Elon should get
to the
involved in
inside,
this.
And they're arguing that it should open outside because of the people inside of it, right? Moon Monkey says it was fake. The girls opened the door to begin with from the inside with no tools. You can see the door is open. Look, let me show you the video because they have their silly little video right here. Look at that. There it is.
Her mouth, but really her heart.
And is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of
The door
hard to
just
see.
popped open. And,
That was a big uh-oh.
let's jump ahead.
The capsule kind of hard to see.
And then Bezos wrenches open the hatch.
Imagine.
Yo, I think it would. I wouldn't be surprised if it was fake. Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, Gayle King, Carrie Ann Flynn, Amanda Nguyen, and Aisha Bowe. They all went to space. I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot of people already thought it was a weird thing as it was, but I'll just say, yo, I kind of think it was probably staged. But who am I, right? And then it's not to say we can't go to outer space. I think we can. There's an international space station. I think it's real. I just think Bezos is doing a big PR stunt for Blue Origin, so he grabbed a handful of celebrities. Like, why is Katy Perry here? What was the point of this? What they have more? They say, in comparison to
I'm curious too how much they paid her to do this whole fiasco.
Relatively easy manner in which the New Shepard capsule door opened has inflamed suspicions. One commentator says, doesn't look like a pressurized hatch to me. Another wrote, pretty sure pressurized doors don't open inwards. Oh, yeah. Because it would blow in and smack someone on the inside. That's interesting. What is it? The capsule looked like it's an inflatable tent, and the only footage they showed was the weightlessness part, which you could achieve in a plane. Interesting. Do they have that video too here, right?
I heard tidbits about that too when it first surfaced.
They're claiming it was fake. Hollywood fake. Yeah, we get it. Wow. Skeptics said the 11-minute expedition was the worst CGI.
I will have to tell you.
And this audio is so annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Claiming the entire mission was satanic ritual.
Satanic ritual?
I don't know, man.
How the heck is that even possible? Did they have a Ouija board or spray paint or a magic marker drawing a freaking pentagram? Like, a ritual. Okay, that's a bit far-fetched even for that. I admit, it definitely, because there's been talks about this, people taking, like, the equivalent of roller coaster, helicopter rides to space, like making stuff for more civilians to give it a try and get a taste of what real astronauts go through and what they do and whatnot with the basic training, not the intense training they have to go to. And shout out to real astronauts, because I hope she's not really, they consider her an astronaut for this, because it definitely dumbs down and downplays the real stuff that they have to go through all the time, which is why they earn their certain salary and go through that intense training, because it's definitely not easy for the average person, especially mentally, to go through all of that. Now, that's my only big critique with that, and why I find it quite disrespectful if that's the case, because I hate when it downplays real skilled people that actually go through all that. But if it's like basic training, like a taste of a roller coaster, helicopter equivalent ride to a thing of space, and if that's so true they did that, then I'm fine with that, even though they didn't accomplish anything. But I'm fine with it being like an experimental ride for humans that want to get a taste of what space is actually like. I can accept that. But if it's like saying, oh, they're the equivalent of like a real professional astronaut, no, that's not in good taste. That's in poor taste, coach. Nah, I don't like that.
I don't know. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. What do they say? But that wasn't the only detail of the landing that online theorists took issue with. In particular, many commenters were confused by the fact that the capsule looked almost perfectly clean and unblemished after landing. The trip was faked. Aside from the fake door opening by Overlord Bezos, the paint in the capsule isn't even slightly scorched from re-entry. Is that normal? Let's do a SpaceX capsule recovery. And they usually land in water, don't they? Yeah, they landed in the water. Let me pull up images from this. And, oh, wow. Yo, for real? Look at these images. Let me just grab this whole thing. Yo, the SpaceX capsule was scorched. It was absolutely scorched. And it was in water. They lift it up. I mean, it's absolutely scorched from its friction damage from entering the atmosphere.
That looks way more believable than what she did right here. Look.
Here's the trainer.
It looks definitely more like a trainer, because where's the atmosphere and surface damage from landing, and why didn't it go in the water? That's my question. This definitely seemed a bit more safe, which is good, but definitely can kind of give the argument why this looks way more put on and fake compared to actual stuff like this.
This is the practice capsule. Notice how it looks fine, right? And then you can see the actual SpaceX Dragon capsule looks like it's burnt up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's scorched. Oh, this is wild. They say most of these issues can be explained by the fact that the capsule only barely made it to space. Okay. The crew capsule had a maximum altitude of 66.5 miles, which put them just over the Kármán line, the official boundary. I gotta admit, it does look fake. I mean, yeah, I don't know,
It doesn't look good for her.
At this altitude, the capsule was still within a very thin atmosphere and wasn't exposed to the true vacuum of space like craft traveling to the International Space Station are. This means it isn't necessary for the New Shepard to have extremely well-reinforced outward opening doors like the Crew Dragon. And since it barely left the atmosphere, the capsule's return to Earth doesn't create the heat of a typical re-entry burn that would scorch the exterior. Likewise, since the Apollo 1 disaster in which a capsule burst into flames on the launch pad, it has been standard practice for capsules to be openable from both sides. Okay. So maybe people are just overhyping this. And they went to space. I don't think it's that hard to go to space, ladies and gentlemen.
True.
In fact, NASA safety requirements specifically state doors shall be operable by a single crew member in no more than 60 seconds. Here's what I think. And that makes sense, too, because imagine if they, like, landed in the water, but there was a problem inside and people were burning and you couldn't get out.
Yeah, that's what would be problematic, yeah. I was going to say, wouldn't that be a big safety concern if that was the case, because you have to emergency evacuate out of the inside and whatnot? I was going to say, ain't no way a lot of people would sign up for it if it was only a one-way opening situation. I know I wouldn't, regardless.
That seems pretty obvious. I think it was a PR stunt in that they were supposed to wait for Bezos to open the door, and they opened it to leave, and they're like, no, Jeff's going to do it. That's likely what happened. They say once the capsule had depressurized upon landing, that means there was nothing stopping Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez from opening the door from the inside. The more likely explanation for the hurried closure is simply that they had spoiled a photo op for Bezos. Exactly. However, the involvement of big-name celebrities such as Katy Perry and the billionaire Bezos
he didn't get
also
his
attracted
photo
a more
op that he
intensely paranoid
wanted.
strain of conspiracy.
Holding the
Katy
tool and be
Perry
like, hey
is a
guys, look,
known
I'm about to
Satan
rescue the
worshiper.
women out of the space
They are all
capsule.
wearing Satan-worshipping labels on their space outfits. Oh, my God.
Okay, that's
Did you
where
notice the logo on Katy Perry
lost
and her
me
fellow
on that
Blue
one.
Origin
You lost
space
me
travelers? It's a satanic goat with an upside-down cross if you flip it. Oh, jeez, man. Look, I don't know. These are what?
Yeah, that's where you throw me off and you lost me there. I'll be honest, I think this patch she has looks cool. I'm going to keep it a stack. That's the only positive thing I could give, but yeah. Even though, let's be honest, Holly Weird does Holly Weird things and push their little propaganda and whatnot, and does their Holly Weird things, however you want to phrase it, it definitely gives more ammunition in that for more religious fanatics to pile on with that and, you know, call it out, which, hey, fair enough, it's a free country, do whatever. As a conservative here, and yes, Slavic pagan conservative, because that does exist and there is such a thing as people in the Republican Party and conservatives who happen to be atheists or whatever they want to claim, Islam, Judaism, they all exist, and that would be contradictory because I'm very pro free speech, Second Amendment, the whole Constitution in general. I'm all about that baseline, but when it gets to the Christian religious fanatic that kind of goes against like that stuff, I mean, it all follows it, but how do I say this, that contradicts the free speech part of the Constitution. That's where it's like, you're kind of making a good argument why people shouldn't go with this, because it's all forcing the negative sides, and it kind of hurts the Republican Party a little bit when it pushes and pushes to that degree, other than the positive things about it. I try to see good and bad, and I'm all about facts and logic and, you know, the foundation of the Constitution. Besides the point, I know, but when it gets to that kind of stuff, even though there was no thing to indicate it, satanic worship or so in it, compared to the Ice Spice Super Bowl thing where she was holding the horns, like, it's a free country, do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting or bothering or forcing it down people's throats. But yeah, that's when it kind of contradicts itself, and I can't, you know, stand with that. But besides the point, that was my whole breakdown on the Katy Perry thing. I wanted to give a little bonus take as well. Shout out to Tim Pool and Tim Cast again. That was a good breakdown. Yeah. They could have done a whole lot better with the concert. She could have had better decor, the style and the choreograph I talked about. I'm glad she takes care of herself compared to some celebrities not taking care of themselves healthily and keeping in shape and whatnot, especially at her age. I gotta give credit there. I'm giving a little bit of positivity there. I don't have really hate or anything towards her, but that kind of stuff, I could see why people were piling on her and giving that savage internet, you know, their takes on the Katy Perry space situation, because that doesn't look good if it downplays the real astronauts to go through the whole harsh training in that, like I've been said. But let me just give a quick example of what she could have done way better. I wanted to give alien-inspired concert. See, I think this was a whole missed opportunity. Like, a good amount of this is AI, but this is just a good example what she could have done and actually got paid better with the choreograph and whatnot. Let's see how... See, music festivals seem like they put a better budget on things and they actually hire good people to actually manage their festivals. This stuff looks lit. I definitely go to, like, some of these things. Like, they could have done some stuff right here. I know a lot of this I'm catching is, like, AI, but it could have been way better. This actually looks freaking lit. Like, right here. This looks lit. She could have done something like this and mixed in her likeness for Star Wars if she does, like, Star Wars compared to that. But that actually looks lit. I would definitely go to some concert like this, and I almost did, but I couldn't make it to the Vegas EDC thing when I was in Vegas. See, good content and good ideas what she could have done right here. See, something like this, people would have got more of their money's worth, and they wouldn't pile on her and roast her about the recent concert she just had. I think people could have been more positive feedback when it came to if she did some kind of style like this, but still kept to the cosmetic and what she was doing, like I said, the rave outfit. But that was my whole take on everything. Hope everyone enjoyed my takes and reactions to all that's going on. I definitely like doing these from time to time. I'm gonna keep them up and see what else is there to react on. In the meantime, nomads, take care, stay up, humble yourselves too, so you don't get roasted like Katy Perry and react to it like a spoiled, entitled kid that can't do no wrong, among other celebrities that act like that. But have a good one all. Till next time, peace.